Welcome to Virtual Balticon 54, a bold Balticon experiment. My name is Mark Van Name, and I have the honor and privilege of being the MC for tonight's opening ceremonies. I've been doing this for a few years now, and normally I'm staring into the bright lights of spotlights with 400 or 500 people sitting in front of me, and I can't see any of them. Now I'm staring into the bright lights of my screen, and I still can't see any of the people watching this. So it's not that different, but it's also very different. For all of us, this is a bold experiment. Balticon is as close to a home con as I have. I've been coming since 1979, and I haven't missed very many Balticons since then. So of course, I had to be here for Balticon's first virtual incarnation. If you're new to this con, you're in for a treat, even though it's virtual. If you've already been before, you're also in for a new treat though, because the con is for the first time virtual, and so there's something new for all of us. Being a virtual con, we of course must rely on a variety of technologies. Later in this event, Morgan will provide an introduction to our platforms, but if you miss any of that, just go to the Balticon website. It contains information on everything we're doing. We'll also have how-to videos on YouTube, so we've got you covered. I'd now like to introduce Michael Rafferty, our con chair.
Thank you, Mark, and thank you to all the volunteers helping to make this possible. You've done an incredible amount of work this year, and I greatly appreciate it. Without all of you, Virtual Balticon would just have been a crazy idea. Also, thank you to my guests of honor. This would not have been the same without you all here. I'm sorry I couldn't welcome you in person, but thank you for your flexibility and all the help you've given us making this convention happen. I hope I have a chance to bring you to Balticon in the future. Finally, thank you all for joining us. We have a great weekend planned, and I hope you have a wonderful time. All of our events will be available for free, but we're running a fundraiser on Gofundme to support Virtual Balticon and the Baltimore Science Fiction Society. Your support is greatly appreciated. Now back to Mark for more about the guests of honor.
We have a great roster of guests this year. You can catch them at online events all throughout the con. Please do remember that even in these lockdown days, the nicest compliments you can pay them are to attend their functions, buy their books, paintings, prints, music, and other offerings, and just say something nice. Our guest of honor is Wen Spencer. Wen is the author of more than a dozen science fiction and fantasy novels, including the Elfham series. She's the 2003 winner of the John W. Campbell Award for Best New Writer and the 2002 winner of the Compton Crook Award. She lives on the Big Island of Hawaii in the shadow of 5 volcanoes, one of which made her life very interesting in the past year. Our next guest of honor is Lee Moyer. Lee's award-winning work has been exhibited in New York, Los Angeles, London, Santa Fe, and Helsinki, and featured in Communication Arts, China's Top Artist magazine, and 7 Spectrum collections. Lee has illustrated book covers for Sean and McGuire, Kim Newman, and Ian Banks. And he's created world premiere posters for Stephen Sondheim and King, Tori Amos, 6 Laurel and Hardy films, Call of Cthulhu, and many more. Our music guests of honor are Cheshire Moon. Cheshire Moon is the musical collaboration of Lizzie Crowe and Eric Coleman. In 2014, they won the Pegasus Award for Best Performer and the Pegasus Award for Best Folk Song for Snow White, Rose Red. They invite you to join in the fun. You can listen to their music at Virtual Balticon, and after Virtual Balticon, you can continue to enjoy it on their website, www.cheshiremoonband.com. Our cosplay special guests are Jay and Lee Targaryen. Jay and Lee are well known for their cosplay and masquerade activities. They have won Best in Show from the Balticon Masquerade and many other awards. Jay organizes and runs the cosplay department for MagFest. They've also created over 500 costumes, that's a lot of work, people, throughout the years for various dance companies and performances. Our 2020 Compton Crook Award winner is Arcady Martin. Arcady won this year's Compton Crook Award for her novel, A Memory Called Empire. She is a speculative fiction writer and, as Dr. Anna Linden Weller, a historian of the Byzantine Empire and a city planner. She is currently a policy advisor for the New Mexico Energy, Minerals, and Natural Resources Department. Normally, presenting the Compton Crook Award to her would be our 2019 Compton Crook Award winner and guest, R.F. Quang. Rebecca Quang is a Marshall Scholar, translator, and the Nebula, Locus, and World Fantasy Award nominated author of The Poppy War, for which she won last year's Compton Crook Award, and The Dragon Republic. She has an MPhil in Chinese Studies from the University of Cambridge and is currently pursuing an MSc in Contemporary Chinese Studies at Oxford University, where her research examines nationalism and ideology in modern Chinese fiction. Our 2020 Heinlein Award winner is Werner S. Vinge. Werner is a 4-time Hugo Award-winning science fiction author and a retired mathematics and computer science professor. The Robert A. Heinlein Award is for a writer with outstanding published works in science fiction and technical writings that inspire the human exploration of space. This year, it recognizes Vinge's body of work, including his 9 novels, more than 24 short stories, and many nonfiction articles. We will be giving these awards in person and on stage at next year's Balticon 55, when we all hope to be able to gather in person again. Now, inevitably and sadly, each year we lose some members of our fanish family. Please join me in a moment of silence while we observe a list of some of those who are no longer with us. Morgan Hazelwood will now walk us through the Balticon platforms.
Hi, I'm Morgan Hazelwood, and I'm the social media lead for Virtual Balticon 54. As you've probably already noticed, Virtual Balticon is taking place online, so we had to carefully pick the right tools for the right job. You'll find Virtual Balticon on Discord, Zoom, YouTube, Twitch, and even Second Life. If you haven't already, please join us on Discord for text, audio, or audio and video chat. With these capabilities, you can enjoy our virtual bar, con suite, gaming room, dealer's hall, artist alley, and more. On the Virtual Balticon 54 Discord server, you can hang out in the chat rooms and visit with the rest of the congoers almost like you normally would. Fair warning, Discord is the one application we are using where 100% of the users will need to create an account. We're also using Zoom's webinar capabilities for panels, presentations, and some of the performances. If you visit Virtual Balticon's online schedule, you can still register for as many panels as you would like, up to and until the end of the panel in question. During webinars, feel free to ask questions, almost like at a regular convention, only you'll be typing them into the Q&A window. If you have a side comment, instead of having to sit on it, you can now chat with your fellow attendees and put it in the chat window. Now, if bandwidth or internet connectivity is a concern, never fear. Zoom webinars are accessible even by landline phone via a dial-up. And just in case the panel rooms get full, there will be overflow live streaming to both Twitch and YouTube. Outside of webinars, many of the folks will be on regular Zoom meetings. Now, over on Twitch and YouTube, besides webinar overflow, you'll find many of our performances, including at 8 p.m. on Saturday night, the Virtual Masquerade. Plus, for those of you who prefer virtual reality over the pure virtual on Second Life, Balticon vending and our art show will be available on Second Life for you to explore. While we know this is not your standard con experience, we're hoping that the openness and flexibility of fandom will make this an enjoyable experience for everyone. Thank you. Back to you, Mark.
If you need any help on the tech front, in addition to checking out the Balticon website, balticon.org, you can join Tech Help on Discord or email tech-help@balticon.org. The Baltimore Science Fiction Society, our host group, is running a Gofundme campaign to help cover the costs of Virtual Balticon and support their efforts for the next year. The campaign will be found at gofundme.com/virtual-balticon. We'll provide a link in the description of it. That's also where you can go to get copies of the BizFan and the virtual Balticon 54 t-shirt. Please check it out and help support the con. This is a volunteer-driven event. It's not funded. Nobody's having to pay. Let's help them out. You can find the con's code of conduct on the Balticon website, balticon.org. The bottom line, though, is that everyone should feel safe and welcome at all times, and no one should do anything to make someone feel otherwise. To report violations of our code of conduct, see @moderator on Discord, or email reporting@balticon.org. For harassment, you may also use harassment@bsfs.org. But let's not have any of these troubles. Let's just all treat each other well and have a great time. Many, many people worked very hard to make this virtual con work, but I'd like to recognize now one special group, the tech crew who make all the mechanics work. Let's give them a virtual hand all together for their hard work. We're at the end of the opening ceremonies, and folks, as always, let's be kind to one another. Let's remember that many of us were the kids that nobody wanted to talk to in school, or the weird kids that had the weird interests, and now we're everywhere, and you can argue that our interests have carried the day, but there are still plenty of people who feel like they're the weird ones or the outsiders, and we should make everybody welcome. Make this a great time for everybody. Let's enjoy the weekend, and let's remember that what unites us is far greater than any of our differences that may separate us. Virtual Balticon 54 is officially open. Thank you for coming and have a great time.